I swear by the Almighty Allah
I swear by the Almighty Allah
that the evidence I shall give to this commission
that the evidence that I shall give to this commission
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing
but
the truth.
but the truth.
So help me Allah.
So help me Allah.
Could you kindly state your names, please?
Abdoulie Cham.
What's your full name?
Abdoulie Cham.
Where do you live, Mr. Cham?
Presently Carnifing layout.
You are a retired public servant?
Yes, ma'am.
Which office did you retire from?
From the central bank.
In what capacity?
Financial controller.
Would you like to sit down?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Cham, how long did you work in the central bank?
26 years.
From which date precisely?
March 15, 1977 to November 10,
1970, sorry?
77.
Okay. Do you have a month?
Hmm?
Do you have a month in 1977?
Do I?
Do you have a month? A month. From what month?
March 15th.
March 1997 to?
10th November 2003.
Could you tell us in what capacities you worked at the central bank? Take us through your career.
We went through the whole rank from a junior clerk, a senior clerk, supervisor, accountant, chief accountant, and financial controller.
How long were you financial controller?
From 1st of January 1994 to the date of my retirement, or termination at that.
As financial controller in central bank, what were your responsibilities?
To keep the books of books of account of the bank.
Sorry, you would have to speak up. I think there's a little bit of echo in the system. All right. Could you start again? What were your responsibilities?
It was my responsibility as the head, as the financial controller, to ensure that the books of accounts of the central bank are kept.
Ensure that?
The books of accounts of the central bank are kept and are kept adequately.
Are kept according to, sorry?
Hmm?
You said they are kept and they are kept according to?
Adequately.
Adequately.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
You were summoned in connection to ex-President Jammeh.
Yes, ma'am.
And particularly in relation to the evidence of Mr. Lanconte about a particular trip. That's what is stated in your summons.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
As during your tenure as financial controller of the central bank, did the office of the president have any dealings with the central bank?
Yes, they did.
Okay. All right. We would like you to give, testify in your own way, and explain what you mean and what activities, what dealings if they had with the central bank, when it started, how it started, and how it evolved, if it did evolve.
Thank you. We all remember that on July...
And sorry, Mr. Cham, before you start, if you do have any documents, and I see that there are documents sitting on your table, along your testimony, if you refer to any documents, we would like you to bring the document to the attention of the Commission, because all documents you refer to will be admitted.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, on July 22nd, 1994, a coup d'etat took place in the Gambia. Now, the immediate reaction of the international community.
I think you would have to raise the level of your voice. Could you adjust the mic so it's closer, yes, closer to you, and just raise your voice a little bit more.
All right. Now, the immediate reaction of the international community.
So start again. You said in July 1994, did you say a coup took place in the Gambia?
In the Gambia.
Yes.
Now, the immediate reaction of the international community was to sever diplomatic relations and put in place sanctions. Now, the coupists suspended this constitution, abolished parliamentary democracy, and ruled by decree until the restitution of constitutional rule.
I don't think you're distinct. Huh? I don't know. I think you have to still pull the mic towards you. Yeah?
Okay. Help me. All right. Now, what I'm saying is that the coupists suspended the constitution, abolished parliamentary democracy, and ruled by decree until the restitution of constitutional rule in 1996. Now, in September 1994, the central bank governor was approached by the Military Council to make arrangements to hold funds that were expected amounting to $35 million.
Who was the governor at the time?
Decided to accept the bank main account because
where are the funds coming from?
Yes.
Where did they say the funds were coming from?
The funds were coming from the Exim Bank of Republic of China.
Exim Bank of the Republic of China?
Yes.
You mean China?
Taiwan.
Taiwan
At the time. Okay.
Did they tell you what sort of funds these were? Was it a grant?
It was not a grant. It was a loan facility because we had the loan schedule repayment with us. It was to be paid over a period, I think, with a five-year grace period.
How many years?
5-year grace period.
Sorry, repeat that. How many years?
5-year grace period.
After a 5 years grace period.
Yeah, repayment would start. Okay. Now the transaction, that the funds we were going to receive, we are going to treat them as off-balance sheet. Because, as I said, the central bank had hitherto worked without interference. And if we cannot reject these funds, we have to treat them outside of the books so that we run the account to where we should run the account. Because things have changed, thinking have changed, and it was in a dictatorship. Okay? Now, acting upon the instructions of the governor, I made arrangements for a special foreign bank account to be opened specifically for these funds. Now, to that effect, an account was opened at Citibank, New York, with account number 36114627.
Repeat the number.
36114627.
Citibank, New York.
Citibank, New York.
Okay.
Now, corresponding to this account was a memo account, special deposit 3M account, kept in dual currency with the central bank.
3M account?
Yeah, special deposit 3M account, yeah.
Sorry, 3M special?
Deposit account.
Deposit account.
Yeah.
Kept in 3 currencies?
No, dual currency.
Dual currencies.
In US dollars and in Dalasi.
US dollars and?
And Dalasi.
Dalasi local.
Which is the country of, which is the currency of accounting. Now, these 2 accounts form the off-balance sheet accounts that were open to account for these funds. Okay. Now, these accounts were opened in accordance with set-down rules on account opening. Account opening forms and signature cards were sent to the chairman of the AFPRC.
Who was this?
Yeah, Captain Yahya Jammeh at the time.
Ex-President Jammeh.
Yeah. Now, initially, there were 2 authorized signatories to the account, Captain Edward Singate and Captain Ibu Jallo. The account was to be operated under their joint signatures. Captain Edward Singate's signature was withdrawn and communication was received to that effect.
Sorry, can you repeat that? We are not hearing you distinctly.
Captain Edward Singate's signature was withdrawn and communication was received to that effect.
At what stage was it withdrawn? Had any transactions taken place?
No.
No transaction?
He had never used the transaction. He has never used the account. Okay. No other person had used it other than Ibu Jallo, which we'll come into.
Okay.
Ibu Jallo continued to be the signatory. And
the sole signatory.
As a sole signatory. Now, the central bank had written to the chairman, AFPRC, detailing how the account was to be operated. This was done under my signature and that of the manager banking operations.
Okay. Do you have any of the documents mentioned so far?
I don't have any.
At the moment?
I don't have any. Why? Because our services were terminated on 10th November 2003. On the Friday of the 14th, I was called to the bank to hand over those files, the relevant files to these transactions, to the then Governor Famara Jatta. I did that morning of Friday. So all those funds, all those files were with him.
Okay. Okay? Carry on.
Yeah, okay. Now, as I said, the central bank had written to the chairman of the AFPRC detailing how the account was to be operated. This was done under my signature and that of the managing.
Sorry, can you stop? Do you have any members of the commission? Are you able to hear?
Where?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Just bear in mind you're speaking to the commission and they need to hear you distinctly.
Yeah, okay, I'll try. Now then, transactions in the account began.
Did the money arrive?
Yes, the central bank had expected to receive $35 million.
35?
35 million. This was not a grant, but a loan. The loan repayment schedule and other correspondence was available to the central bank. So we knew that from there that it was a loan.
I didn't hear the last bit.
That the loan repayment schedule and other correspondence was available to the central bank with regard to this 35 million account that was opened. Okay?
No. What did you say before that?
Okay.
I didn't hear it. You have to raise your voice a bit.
So the central bank had expected to receive $35 million. That this was not a grant but a loan. Okay? because we have received the loan repayment schedule. From that, we could discern that it was. Now, an amount of 30 million was wired to the account, showing a shortfall of $5 million. Now, a few days after this receipt, Captain Edward Singati and Ibn Jallo came to the bank and deposited $2 million cash. Another $220,000 was deposited a few days later.
I know that you have gone down to being very low. Just raise your voice again. Your voice has dropped.
Oh, okay.
Raise it again. You said a few days after the 30 million was wired in.
Yep. Captain Edward Singati and Captain Ibn Jallo came to the central bank and deposited $2 million US. Another $220,000 was deposited a few days later. Okay. Now the source of these funds.
It was deposited by the same people?
By the same people. Yeah. Okay. Now the source of these funds were not known. That's the cash deposits.
Of 2,200,000.
Yeah. Whether it was the balance that was outstanding of the 5 million or not, we do not know. But in the final analysis, the account we opened was funded to the tune of $32,220,000.
$32,220,000.
Okay. Now, treating these funds in this manner allowed the central bank to continue its monetary policy function with ease and without interference. That was why this was done. Now, how were these funds used? To dampen public fears and anxiety as to the continuity in the availability of food stock, the first transactions were for the importation of rice. This was done through a Belgian by the name of Gers Muller.
Can you spell it?
Z-E-R-G-E. Z-E-R-G-E. M-U-E-L-L-E-R.
Sorry. We got 35 million and we got 2 million deposit.
Yeah,
That's a total of 37.
No.
Was there any funds?
No.
Yeah, please go ahead. Go over the numbers so we get them correct.
We were expecting $35 million in the account.
Okay.
Which was the amount of the loan.
Okay.
But we received 30 million.
30 million received.
30 million was received. So as I said, there was a shortfall of 5 million.
Correct.
A few days after the receipt of these, $2 million cash was paid into the account.
Making it 32.
32. And 220,000 shortly thereafter.
220,000
US dollars.
Okay. Yes.
Okay?
Okay, we got that.
Yeah, get it. Okay, that's fine.
So the 3 million expected. Of the 3 million expected, you only received 220.
Of the 5 million that was left.
35 was the total.
35 was
30 came.
30 came.
2 came.
2 came.
You have a shortfall of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of the 3,
220 came.
Okay. What happened to the rest?
It was
never.
It was never received.
Thank you. That's what we wanted to clarify.
Never received. Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Cham, you said it was a 35 million loan.
Yeah.
So it was entered in your books as a 35 million loan.
No. As bankers, we are not their bookkeepers. We are their bankers, and we account for them amounts that we have received on their behalf, unless and until there is a facility avail them. So we recorded 30 million.
You recorded 32?
Yeah. 32,220,000, because those were the amounts we received.
Yes. The reason why I ask, because it's a loan, it had to be serviced.
Yes.
For the purpose of servicing the debt, What was the amount of the principal?
35 million, as would be seen in the loan repayment schedule. The whole 35 million had to be paid, and it was being paid.
All right, thank you.
Okay? Thank you. Now, 3 consignments of rice were ordered through this three consignments of rice were ordered through this gentleman I named
Zag Muller.
Zers Muller. Now, he was brought to the bank from the office of the president by Baba Job.
Sorry, it was?
He was brought to the bank.
What was brought?
No, okay. He was introduced to the bank from the office of the president by Baba Job.
Zag Muller came to the bank.
Yeah?
Are you saying Zag Muller came to the bank?
Yeah, he came to the bank.
And was introduced by Baba Job.
By
to
Baba
whom?
Job. To the governor. Okay.
Why did he come to the bank?
Huh?
Why did he come to the bank?
I mean, payments were to be made to him from the account for the importation of rice.
Were they being made in cash?
No. It was paid through his foreign bank account.
Okay, carry on.
It was paid. He came to give the details, and it was paid to his bank account by us. Now, the rice was distributed to AFPRC militants to sell and deposit the funds with the AMRC for onward remittance to the account of the government of the Gambia with the central bank. The proceeds of these sales were never received. Now, the central bank wrote to the managing director for the payment of 200 million, which was expected from the sale proceeds of this rice.
200 million?
200 million dalasi. Now, we received, as I said, a not so polite reply.
From AMRC?
From the AMRC.
Do you recollect who the managing director of AMRC was at the time?
Mr. Jiba. And that letter is in the file.
Mr. Mamoudou Lamin Jiba.
ML Jiba, yeah. And the reply is in the AMRC file with the central bank. Captain Ibu Jallo, as a single signatory to the account, instructed the central bank to transfer $3 million
to transfer $3 million
$3 million
where?
To an account, to a foreign account. I don't have the details anymore because the files are gone. This transfer was effected.
Hello, sorry. We see you are reading your evidence. You are reading.
Yeah.
Not so?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we'll expect you to sign it afterwards and give us the document.
I have signed it.
Yes. Normally we don't allow that.
Yeah, okay.
But since it's a long time ago.
It's a long time, you just have to.
It's all right. We'll permit. We just want to establish the fact that you are reading your evidence. All right?
Okay, yeah.
Now, what was the last thing you said, please?
The last thing I said was Captain Ibu Jallo, as a single signatory to the account, instructed the central bank to transfer $3 million to an account outside of this country.
Please raise your voice. The commissioners are straining to hear you.
Absolutely, especially towards the end of your sentences.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. In the middle you are okay, but as you end, we lose you.
Okay, all right, okay. Sorry.
What's the account number, please? Is it there?
No, we don't, I don't have those. But I don't have the account number, but it was paid.
It's all right, carry on.
Okay?
Carry on.
Now, when the statement of account, which we render to the chairman of the AFPRC, reached the office of the chairman, we were alerted that the instructions were inappropriate and without authority. Now, the governor, Central Bank of the Gambia, the Attorney General at the time, I can't remember whether it was Cisse or Seka Chiasen, Modu Kababajo, and myself went to Geneva in an effort to recover these funds.
When you say you can't remember whether it was Cisse or Chiasen, could you give their full names?
Yeah, Pap Chiasen Seka or our Cisse Sabali.
Okay.
I don't know who I can't remember who the Attorney General was, but we went with one of them. Now, a substantial portion was received not in US dollars, but in Swiss francs, amounting to 2.9 million Swiss francs, which at the time was equivalent to 2.7 million.
You said the governor, the Attorney General, and yourself went where?
To Geneva.
For what purpose?
In an effort to recover the funds, they had appointed lawyers in Geneva to help retrieve the funds. So we went to meet with those lawyers so that we will have the funds back. And it was successful.
I think pull the mic. At that, there was a point when your voice was... can you help him with the mic so we can hear properly?
I have this problem with mics. Okay.
Or maybe take this smaller mic and pin it on his lapel. I think it's usually more effective. We'll try that one and see.
Thank you.
So the Geneva trip, to recover which funds? How much?
$3 million.
That was sent outside?
That was sent under the instructions of Ibu Jallo.
Thank you.
$2.7 million.
The volume. Check the volume, please.
Huh?
Let's try again. You went to recover $3 million.
Yeah.
It went to Geneva. It went to Geneva.
I can't remember where it was sent, but the government at the time appointed lawyers in Geneva who were helping in retrieving the funds. Those were the ones we went to meet. And subsequently, they were successful in recovering funds in $9 million. That was equivalent to 2.7 US dollars at the time. Okay. Now, from the proceeds of the loan, the Daily Observer was purchased.
The Daily Observer was purchased?
The Daily Observer was purchased from the proceeds of that loan.
Purchased from who?
From Kenneth Best, for an amount of 268,000 US dollars. Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Cham, did you say 216?
No, $268,000.
268, okay.
That was paid to Kenneth Best. In addition to that, a property was purchased in Morocco for 500,000 US dollars. Payment was made to S.A. Dinia Ameublement, a limited liability company.
Payment was made to?
S.A. Dinia Ameublement.
This is all from the 35 million.
Yeah,
sorry, 32.
$32 million. Yeah.
$2 million.
It was paid from there.
Can you repeat the name?
Can you repeat that? We didn't hear that at all. Not clear.
That a property was purchased in Morocco for 500,000 US dollars.
Please leave it there.
Payment was made to S.A. Dinia Ameublement, which is Société Anonyme Dinia Ameublement, a limited liability company.
Did you get it?
Société Anonyme? Yeah.
Huh?
SA is Société Anonyme.
Dinia Ameublement, D-I-N-I-A.
We missed that. D-I?
D-I-N-I-A.
Dinia.
Yeah. Dinia.
Yes.
Another $300,000 and $35,000 was again paid to this company, but from different.
So, in whose name this property?
It was in nobody's name. It was instructions from the account operators to pay to that account.
Okay.
It was in nobody's name. Yeah. Okay? Now, cash was being drawn from the account and other transactions on the authority of both the president and the governor. Right?
Sorry, you seem to be playing with it. Could you raise it to a level where we can all hear and leave it there, please?
It may be beyond technical. It's the manner of speaking. So we just have to get it closer.
Okay. All right, speak into the mic. You see what I'm doing?
Right?
All right, thank you.
I can't even hear.
Yes, you have one. Oh, you can't hear me.
I can't hear you.
I'm saying we have difficulty hearing you.
I also have that problem.
Okay.
Yeah, so, okay. I continue?
Just speak into the mic.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Now, other payments from the account include payments for the construction of IH-22, Banjul International Airport. Now, cash was being drawn from the account and other transactions under the authority of the president and the governor of the central bank.
On the authority of president and?
The governor of the central bank. He would instruct the governor to make payments, okay, through the medium of Baba Diop. It started a long time ago.
When you didn't tell us when Baba Diop came in to become the, when did Baba Diop become a signatory to the account?
He was not a signatory to that account.
Sorry?
He was not a signatory to that account.
So how could he draw money when he was not a signatory to the account?
He was not a signatory to the account because of an understanding between him, between the president and the governor of the central bank.
Can you explain?
Yeah.
Because we had reached the point where Ibu Jallo was signatory.
Yeah, yeah.
He transferred 3 million, he was followed for the 3 million.
Yeah.
I presume he left the country.
Yeah.
Did he leave the country when he transferred the 3 million?
He left the country immediately.
So after that, then tell us who became signatory to the account.
There was no signatory to the account. The account was operated on verbal instructions from the president to the governor, who would send Baba Diop to the bank. Okay?
Was there anything to tell the governor that Baba Diop should sign?
Yes, there was.
Okay. Do you have it with you?
No, I don't have that one now, because you see, these funds were not central bank funds.
Okay, carry on then.
These were not central bank funds. Okay. These were not. So
but in any event, the governor allowed Baba Diop to be withdrawing money from the account.
It on the representation of the president, as he would confirm. Okay, now the central bank rendered full account of the operations of the account to the account holder of the Gambia as represented by the president, by the office of the president. So the full account with all those cash withdrawals, all these payments, a full account was given to them.
Can you recollect how much cash was withdrawn?
No, I cannot put a figure to that. I cannot put a figure, but they were frequent withdrawals.
Okay. You've told us about IH-22. You've told us about the IH-22.
IH-22, which was about $1 million.
It was about $1 million.
Yeah, it was about $1 million. I can't remember the figure for the airport, but it was built from those funds.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Okay.
These were 32 million.
Sorry. I propose, and I think this is the only solution at this point in time. You will deliver the document you've been reading. We will get copies, including counsel. Then we'll come back in about 20 minutes so that we can understand you. We will rise.